Welcome into the Stand Like Men podcast. I'm Daniel Trollenberg.
And I'm Logan Ingram.
And we are here to talk about what it means to be a godly man and the man that God wants us to be. And we encourage you all to join us along the way. If you are interested in supporting the show, I'm told that if you like and subscribe and then leave us a comment, that helps the algorithm see that it's worthwhile and they will share it with other people. It's been so long since we recorded last.
How long has it been now? 4 minutes?
I think 6.
6?
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good to see you again, Logan.
Good to see you too.
Glad you're back in the studio.
Me too. Me too. What are we doing about Christmas?
Is it this
in
week?
3 days.
I don't even know. I think it's this week.
Yep.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. It's in 1, 2, 3 days.
Merry Crisis.
Merry Christmas. I'm looking forward to Festivus this year.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now it's time for the airing of grievances.
Yeah.
Love that. Man, I want that. I want to do that, but that's not Christ-like, so
No.
I can't do it.
No.
Okay, so today, episode 54, we are talking about... I guess we're still in 1 Timothy chapter 3.
Yes.
And you want to read that verse?
Yes, I do. Hang on. 1 Timothy chapter 3, 1 through 7. Here is a trustworthy saying. Whoever aspires to be an overseer desires a noble task. Now the overseer is to be above reproach, faithful to his wife, temperate, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not given to drunkenness, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. He must manage his own family well and see that his children obey him, and he must do it in a manner worthy of full respect. If anyone does not know how to manage his own family, how can he take care of God's church? He must not be a recent convert, or he may become conceited and fall under the same judgment as the devil. He must also have a good reputation with outsiders, so that he will not fall into disgrace and into the devil's trap.
2 weeks ago, we talked about, what was it?
Above reproach.
Thank you. We talked about being above reproach, and then last week we talked about husband of one wife and being faithful to your wife. And if you're interested in hearing about either of those topics, go back and listen to them. And then this week we're talking about...
Being temperate.
Temperate.
Temperate-minded.
And I saw another translation that said sober-minded.
Sober-minded, yep. Yep.
Is it? Did you read sober-minded or temperate?
Temperate.
Okay. Being sober-minded or temperate. So what is being temperate mean?
I'll tell you in just a second.
All right.
All right. So, temperate. The Greek word for that is nephilios. I believe that's how you say it.
Sounds like Nephilim.
Yes, it does. And it literally means clear-headed, watchful, or sober.
Not the Nephilim. Nephilim are not known for that.
Not the Nephilim. No. No, a temperate man eats, drinks, works, trains, and rests, but none of those things rule over him.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, clear-headed, watchful, sober.
I had the definition of sober-minded.
Yeah, a man who cannot say no to himself. He can't lead others. That's what it is. It's kind of a self-control deal.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of it is.
Yeah.
Being sober-minded means having mental clarity, good judgment, and emotional balance, free from distortions like extreme highs and lows, impulsive desires, or substance influences. Characterized by calmness, seriousness, self-control, and rational, deliberate thinking. About being clear-headed, present, and thoughtful in decisions, not just abstaining from alcohol, but avoiding being intoxicated by anything, like success or failure. That clouds perception. I liked that.
Yeah, I like that a lot because I think it points to temperate's not being passive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a disciplined power.
Yeah.
You have control, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have control of something, you're not just being passive and letting things happen to you.
Yeah.
So like a strong masculine man who lacks control is actually dangerous, right?
Very, very.
Yeah, very dangerous. But a strong masculine man who has control is trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust him with your life, with your feelings, with whatever.
Yeah.
And I believe having that control is what allows God to give us authority and leadership, because we're trustworthy, right? We're trustworthy with his creation and with other people's lives, like our wives and our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to reaction versus response.
Yeah. We just talked about
Force and versus authority, cruelty.
Say we just talked about that. That was like a year ago.
It was. It was about a year ago.
We've been doing this a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's when we were prepping for this one, I looked at it, I'm like, man, this is exactly what we talked about in that response versus reaction episode. It's every once in a while I'll have a reaction, and then as soon as that heightened emotion passes, I'm like, dadgummit, you did an episode on that. You weren't supposed to do that at all.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be better than that.
So kind of going back to last week's deal, what I talked about with the home being a good testing ground, because there's crises that happen all the time, financial, kids, parents, whatever, all kinds of stuff happens within your home. And a good thing to think about is that character is revealed during crisis.
Yeah.
Crisis doesn't create character, right?
Yeah.
Your character goes before that.
Yeah.
And you cry, and it'll reveal. Kind of like, I think we've talked about it before, but people have talked about how wealth, all it does is just makes your character show more.
Yeah.
So if you were generous before, you're going to be even more so. If you were cruel before, you're going to be even more so. And so going back to what I said last week too is, my wish for myself, of course, and all of us, is that when we feel the pressure in those crises, that we recognize what comes out of us, which is our character.
Yeah.
So in those moments, a temperate man will slow down. He doesn't explode and get frantic.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're temperate, you're self-controlled, you're in control.
Yeah.
You don't feel totally out of control, because that's what out of control people do, is they freak out.
You're not going to pendulum swing.
That's right. Yes.
You're not going to you're going to, and not to say that you're going to be emotionless. It's not to say that you're not going to have any sort of response or reaction, but it's going to be measured. It's going to be, it's maybe a bend, not break situation.
It's intentional.
But yeah, you're going to act with intention. You can get knocked on your back, metaphorically speaking, but you're not going to snap. You're not going to completely collapse, crumble under the stress or under the strain. And you're not going to go out and damage somebody else, and hurt someone else.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the show Forged in Fire?
Oh yeah, buddy. Every single episode that's ever aired.
I loved that show.
I do love it.
And this is not a recommendation to go watch Forged in Fire. It's a fascinating show, but there is some language on there, so be mindful of that and be careful and guard yourself. But one thing for those of you who don't know, the essence is it's a blade making competition. You start off with, there's 4 contestants, and then after round 1, one of them is eliminated, and then after round 2, round 1 is they make the blade. And then round 2, they sharpen it and they put a handle on it and fix any issues that they have. And then round 3, they go home to their own forge and they make a weapon from history, like they recreate a weapon from history. Fascinating show. I learned a whole lot. It's really cool, the whole process behind that. One thing that they do, when you're taking a block of metal or scrap metal or whatever, and you're heating it up to extreme temperatures, and you're putting it through extreme pressure with a hammer or press to get it into a different shape. And then you do that over and over and over. And then finally you get to, but there's a very precise way of doing it, or else you're going to ruin the blade.
Yes.
If you get it too hot, and then right before you make the blade, you have to get it up to temperature, to a certain temperature, and then you have to plunge it into oil. And you use oil, you don't use
Hold on.
water.
It depends on the steel.
Okay, that's fair.
Some steel needs to be water cooled.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I know these things.
I apologize. So you plunge it into the quench, as what they call it, and that hardens the steel. It hardens the blade. But if it's too hot, you could shatter the blade. If the blade is too hot, you can shatter it. Or if it's not cold enough, it's not actually going to quench. It's not actually going to harden. And so, but
it's an alignment of atoms.
Yeah,
is actually what it is. Because when you heat something up, they're just vibrating.
Yeah,
and going crazy. And if you do it too hard, too fast, they're vibrating too fast, and you make them stop, it'll send cracks and stuff. Yeah. So it's a very technical cooling process so that all of the molecules align.
You did a lot of research, man.
Oh, dude, the only thing I have not done is actually forge a blade. I've done a lot of stock removal knife making and stuff like that, but I've never put the time and effort into forging. It's one of those things that I just finally had to be like, oh, I don't have time to do this. That is one thing that will be happening as I get older and my kids leave the house. Yeah. Is I will be forging blades.
Stand Like Men Forge.
Oh, sounds awesome.
If anybody wants to fund that, we
can have demos and do a live recording while we forge.
I need y'all to create a Patreon for us and then fund our forge. Okay, so one thing that some people would do is called a thermocycle, where they would temper the blade and they would heat it up to a temperature and then they'd let it cool down slowly. And they'd heat it up and they'd let it cool down slowly to get and what that does is it actually strengthens the blade and makes it harder. So that once you go into the quench and you align those atoms up, if you have tempered it correctly, then it's less likely to break.
That's correct.
And so when I read temperate, being a godly man is temperate, the first thing I thought of was a tempered blade.
Yes.
And it's like when it goes through that stress of the quench, or when it goes through the stress of being like hacking up bamboo or hacking up a bone or cutting something or clearing a forest or whatever it is, the stress of being banged, what's the word? Crashed in, banged, slammed, hammered. The stress of being used is not going to make it snap. And there are so many, it's always heartbreaking to see the catastrophic failures in that show where the blade they go.
It is hard. It's so heartbreaking.
They go and they're like, all right, you have to cut. We're gonna hack into this like 2x4.
Just for those wondering, one of the worst things you could ever possibly do to a blade is hammer into a block of ice.
Yeah.
And then the next would be a cow shin bone or leg bone.
Yeah. But that's what they do.
And actually hammering through steel is not as bad as those two things.
Fascinating. When the blade is getting hacked into a block of ice, or when you're hacking a block of ice with that blade, like there's a lot of stress and a lot of stress going into it. Yeah. Kind of like you're talking about a crisis. Mm-hmm. Like if that blade is strong, if that blade is tempered, aligned and tempered properly, it's not going to break.
That's right.
If it is improperly tempered, if it is improperly quenched and aligned and improperly set, then likely it's going to shatter. And at that point, you've got what happens when a blade shatters. Like you've got at least you've got suddenly a projectile that's flying through, sometimes 2 or 3 projectiles that just go out because you slammed into something and it shattered. It could not withstand the crisis, the test.
Right.
Same with, that's the first thing I thought of when I read The Godly Man is Temperate, is that when they undergo this stress or this crisis, as you called it, like, are they going to snap? Are they properly aligned? Are they tempered? Are they strong enough to do this? Or are they under this pressure? Are they going to snap and then be a danger to those around them?
Yeah, and what's crazy is they do so. Master bladesmiths do a break test, or they call it a bend test, and they actually have to take a large knife that they have forged, stick it in a vise, and bend it to 90 degrees. Because so if you can imagine that a steel blade being bent with some humans, full-grown adults, full weight, pulling on it. I mean, you're trying to break it is really what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't break, then I believe that's one of the requirements to pass your master, to be a master bladesmith.
Yeah.
And so, but also there's a lot of strength. I've been around a lot of knives that have broken and pieces will fly everywhere. They can cut you. They can damage stuff around you. So it's not just that a blade cracks, right? It can cause collateral damage.
Yeah.
The same with us. You know, it's not just us that are going through the pressure and all of that. And when we do, a piece of us kind of breaks a little bit.
Yeah.
It actually can cause collateral damage because pieces can fly around everywhere.
Yeah. Every time whenever there was a catastrophic failure, they'd pull up the blade and they'd look at the ends. They'd look at the grain of the blade.
You can see,
and you can see what it's made of.
You can see imperfections in the misalignment of molecules and stuff. Grain, they call it grain. The grain of the steel.
The grain of the steel.
So, I mean, kind of following along the lines of these swords and knives, what can they do? Use them for protection, right? Yeah. You can they're not just a weapon of destruction.
Yeah.
So that's why I actually love axes as like a logo or something, because first of all, you can kill people with them if you want to. You can use them to cut down trees and destroy things.
Yeah.
But they're also a tool for rebuilding.
Yeah.
And for protection. And they can be a tool for violence. They can be so many things. It's not just one or the other.
Yeah.
You know. And so the same with a sword or a knife. If you are, aligned well, if your grain is aligned well, your character is good and strong and true, then you can be a mighty protector of your family and those around you. You can be used for self-defense and going on the offensive, just like the verse that says the gates of hell will not prevail. Well, I've never seen a gate attack a person.
No.
Right? So what does that mean? That means we, as men of God, are supposed to be attacking the gates of hell. We're supposed to be on the offensive.
Yeah.
Like, we're not supposed to be just going and randomly using violence and being hot-headed and not being temperate and self-controlled. But we're not supposed to just sit back and be passive.
Yeah.
And I know, and I've brought it up before, I don't believe for a second that now that Christian men are supposed to be passive. I think we are supposed to be protectors. We are supposed to be on the offensive at times, but we're doing that. We're tempering that aggressiveness with self-control.
Well, it's being intentional about it.
Yes, that's exactly right.
What are we, you got to pick your battles. And when you pick a battle to fight, you better win it.
Have you seen, you ever seen glass when it cools down too fast? So if you heat glass or something and then just quench it, it can actually explode.
Yeah.
And so that's a perfect example of tempering, because glass is much more volatile than steel.
Yeah.
And so when you have temperature changes like that in glass, it'll literally explode. It can anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I had that happen to me a couple weeks ago. I was heating up some ballistics gel because I was making fake eyeballs, and
hold on. Okay, I did not know that you dabbled in ballistics gel, so we're going to have a talk.
Dabbled might be too strong of a word. Like it's once a year. They have the PA program has a lab of removal of foreign metallic object from an eyeball. And so, someone's welding or whatever, and a piece of slag just pops in the eye and then embeds in the cornea. And so it's like some university like Washington State University or Michigan or something like that, came up with this like lab, and they're like, and they did a whole study on it, and they're like, hey, turns out if students practice on practice removing this metallic foreign object on this dummy, then they feel more confident when they go into the real thing. It's like,
Oh, that would scare me to death.
go figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you get one of those little wig heads from Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
You carve out where the eye sockets would be, and you make this mixture of, I forget the formula, but it's like paint thinner and cornstarch and something else to make the eyeball itself. And then you use ballistics gel to make the cornea. And you have to heat up the ballistics gel, and then you pour it into a mold, and you put like the paper. You print out some irises, like on paper,
Mm-hmm.
and you just stick that in the back of it so it like dries to it, and you glue that to your eyeball, and then you take a little tiny shard of metal and you put it into the cornea.
So I actually had, when I was building trucks and tanks here, I had a piece of rust stick in my eyeball.
Ugh.
I was sanding or something. I can't even remember what I was doing. Actually, I wasn't even sanding. I was using like a paint scraper or something to get some rust off of something.
Yep.
And it just shot right in and stuck in my iris. I mean, yeah, in the iris.
The cornea.
And so I had to go to Dr. Bailey here in town, and he had to take it out. But I mean, it was so strange. Like I go to a bathroom mirror and shine my light, and you can see a piece of metal in my eyeball. That was so like it didn't even, like, it hurt, like it bothered me.
Yeah.
But it was like the psychological trauma.
Yeah. We're gonna have to change
was
the
actually
subject,
way
man.
worse than the pain.
We're gonna have to change the
It
subject.
was weird feeling.
Ugh.
It's like one time I had and I have a nice scar for it. That scar right there was the big fluorescent lights like those in there.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have like diamond grating or something on those plastic pieces.
Uh-huh.
And I had an entire light fixture fall down on me one time when we were demoing a building.
Ugh.
And I reached up to push it. And so that thing just grated across my finger like a cheese grater.
Yeah.
And I had to run over to a gas station next door because there was no power or water hooked up, and went in there to the sink and started washing it out, and subcutaneous fat fell out. And that hit me in a new way. And I deal with, deer and bear and pigs and stuff all the time. But when it's your own sub-Q fat falling out in a sink from a piece of your body, it is the weirdest feeling. And like, I can't even describe it. I don't even know what to describe it as, but it was weird. So I have a nice big scar, and where you can see the flap of skin that was peeled back.
I don't feel so good, Logan.
My bad.
Man.
All right.
Okay. So I regret bringing that up because
it just happens out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's just so sudden.
Yeah, it is very sudden.
But I regret bringing that up because I heard the story about your fat falling off your finger. Man.
Derailed that conversation
That's okay.
handily.
What were we talking about? Oh,
all right.
Well, okay. So when you're going through stress and crisis,
yes.
When you if a man doesn't handle it well and they break or they shatter, like, you're going to see what they're made of in that moment. Like, you're going to be able to identify, okay, you can identify what the stress was, what the crisis was. But just like those blades in Forged in Fire, you're going to be able to look at him and say, all right, so this is kind of what you were made out of. This is how you were aligned. This is what your grain was.
You kind of going back to that we're being temperate, we're a source of protection.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, being a temperate man brings safety into his house. Just like you talked about, like, we're the greatest threat.
Yeah.
If we're not temperate. Well, if we are, then our wife doesn't have any fear of our moods swinging, right? And our kids aren't guessing, well, which dad is this that's coming home today? Because I've heard tons and tons of stories from men, and they say that exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which dad came home tonight?
Yeah.
And they're not guessing that stuff. Your wives aren't guessing, the kids aren't guessing, and you're a stable pillar, right?
Yeah.
You're not something that you're not unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because that's scary, right? The unknown is unpredictable, like the glass exploding on you.
Yeah.
Like that's very unknown. These knives that get forged, there's an unknown problem within the steel that could cause issues.
You can't always see it.
Because there's times where they're chopping through something large with like on the final and they've used a sword. Well, they hit it and half the blade goes flying across the room.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's very dangerous and that's unpredictable because they never would have done that.
No.
If they knew that that was going to happen.
Yeah. And they inspect every blade before it's started.
Right. But you can't see.
But you can't see
just
the
like,
inside.
Just like a man.
Yeah.
You can't see his heart,
Man,
but you look for.
That really
the
is the
fruits of the
perfect
Spirit.
analogy.
It really is. I love that. I'm so glad
Man,
you
that
brought
worked out
this
so
up.
well.
Yeah, it really did.
Pat myself on the back on that one.
Yeah.
I needed the win today.
And temperance is also built through adversity.
Yeah.
Right. You cannot forge and temper a blade without hammering on it.
Yeah.
And sending it through fire.
And you have to
lots of heat.
You have
and
to
pressure.
put it through stress in order to get it strong.
That's right. Because you don't do it just one time.
Yeah.
Right. You don't just hammer it once and then quench it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Or just heat it up and then quench it. You can't do that.
No.
It's not gonna be anything.
No.
And so you've got to be, we are forged through trials, through tribulations, all of that stuff. But it's also how we handle ourselves through those things.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're, we can build a temperance, and because we don't necessarily, but we start from when we're young, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just once we get married, we're just all of a sudden temperate,
Yeah.
like, or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've built it up.
It takes time.
It does. And so, but it comes from being intentional.
Yeah.
Throughout our whole lives, not just, okay, I'm married now. Now I'm going to be intentional for the first time ever in my life.
I tried that
Yeah.
in some areas. I'm like, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. And I'm not saying that you've got to be totally temperate and perfect and have witnessed every situation before you get married.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying we should have been intentional a long time ago, because if you haven't been, then you are going to be way behind on the learning curve.
Because it will take time.
That's exactly right. And you can develop temperance if you don't have any, but you've got to go through trial and error, and you got to be put under pressure, but you have to be very intentional about it. You can't just say it is what it is. I am who I am. Accept me how I am. That doesn't work.
No. Because you're not actually going to be you're not actually going to be useful. Like if you don't if you don't go through adversity, if you don't go through any hardships at all, like you will bend at the first sign of stress.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it is you don't drift into temperance. You don't just happen into it.
Oh, yeah.
You are disciplined into it.
This sounds like they're saying you got to be intentional about the eternal.
That's it. Man, I like it.
So good.
I like it.
So I think what we're trying to say is that we are so wise, and we've been talking about this for a year now, and people should listen to our podcast.
Right.
And then share that podcast with their friends.
Yeah. Well, as a leader, we've got to be predictable in our character.
Yeah.
Or again, we're unpredictable, and that's what's scary.
We're a threat. Yeah.
Unknown is what's scary.
Yeah.
And so if you know your enemy, the enemy you know is better than the one you don't. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the devil you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, we're not talking about Satan on this thing. It's
Not
not about him. We'll bring him up sometimes, though. But going back to the home front, like your house is the first line of defense, right? Mm-hmm. Your family, your wife, your kids are going to be the very first ones to ever experience who you are before you walk out of the house into the world. So you get up in the morning, they're the first ones you're interacting with. And so you want them to see your self-control before anyone else.
Yeah. And ultimately, I mean, it goes back to, this is just who you are. It's a characteristic of who you are. It's not, you don't try to be temperate. You are temperate. It just goes back to being above reproach and being faithful to your wife. It's just who you are.
Right. And we're not saying it's who you are like you were just born that way.
No.
We're saying it's your character. It's who you are.
Yes.
Yeah. It's your soul pouring out.
Yeah.
I was going to say
Sorry.
Coming out of your orifices. We're not going to do that.
Gross.
Just for whatever, that was the phrase that popped in my mind.
That's funny.
Just
Well,
oozing
so
out of
like
every orifice.
kind of like Michael Jordan is a great basketball player.
Yes.
It's just who he is.
But it's from discipline.
But it did not happen by accident.
No.
And like we are godly men, not because it happened by accident, but because we are intentional about it. And
That's
we are
right.
disciplined about it.
Thank you again for joining us on the Stand Like Men podcast. If you guys are enjoying the show, or even if you're not, give us a rating and give us some feedback. We would love some feedback. We get some every now and then.
If you don't enjoy the show, don't give us a rating. Just give us feedback.
I'll take a rating.
Okay.
Yeah, we're being honest, right?
Give us that
honest,
1 star.
We need honest feedback.
At least there's some sort of communication. I'm sorry, I'm stepping all over here.
No, you were good. I'm good with communication. I really believe, for someone who is an introvert and was scared to death of conflict and stuff, I'm a humongous believer in communication.
Yeah.
And so we would love to hear from you guys. Y'all can hit us up on all the social medias, YouTube. You can also send us an email at standlikemen@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Our verse is 1 Corinthians 16, 13, and 14.
Be watchful.
Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong.
Let all that you do be done in love.